All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Chair League Season 3 back again for another week. Week 6? Uh,
Six.
6, thank you, new type. And
I
with me
swear,
as
it's all
always,
I do here.
yeah, you keep me on track. That's pretty much what you do. You keep me on track.
And drink. Wow, I got some complex responsibilities here on the stream.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it is week 6 in Chair League, and tonight we've got a wonderful Division 3 matchup for you. We've got two teams. We've got Onslaught versus MMR Hell, and both teams in the middle of the pack of Division 3. Onslaught with a 3-2 record, MMR Hell with a 2-1 record, and they're gonna throw down here tonight.
Absolutely. So, just as an FYI, Nova is banned tonight. Due to the bug. That should be fixed on. That should be fixed on Wednesday, I believe.
So, for those of you who aren't in the know and want maybe like 12 hours of totally bogus Nova games, there's a bug for Nova's Covert Ops talent, her level 1 talent, which the way it should work is when you are stealthed, your pinning shot, you're slow, the actual slow percentage ramps up per second that you're stealthed, eventually giving you what is effectively like a 74% slow, I think is what the math ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ostensibly that resets when you break stealth, but due to this bug, it does not reset. So once you've ramped that up once, your slows are basically 74%. For the duration of the match, and so that's a incredible slow that you basically you cannot have for a level 1 talent. It's too powerful for a level 1 talent.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So how you doing, Synth? There's all sorts of stuff to talk about this week.
It's just it's an unending stream, not stream. It's an unending torrent of news. Just there is nothing like if you just stop treading water for 1 second, you're going to be drowned by the sheer amount of news from Heroes. I mean, it feels like BlizzCon isn't 3 weeks around the corner. Like it feels because a lot of games do that, right? They
take a break.
Yeah,
they pump the brakes and they say, okay, well, we're not doing anything for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks or who knows how long. No, and so, the big news this week is Samuro, the Blade Master, introduced into the PTR yesterday, likely going to be coming out next week. One of the strangest, a global melee assassin, if you build appropriately, if you build correctly. So one of the more complex heroes I think they've ever released. He plays equal parts Zeratul and equal parts the Lost Vikings. Watched some streams, tried it out a little bit myself yesterday. It was fun, man. What an interesting character.
I haven't had a chance to try it out yet, but I will probably do that soon, or at the very least watch Chu play him.
So
inevitably,
let's talk about tonight's game. We got two veteran Division 3 teams. Onslaught went 5-5 last season, and they're 3-2 this season. So doing a tiny bit smidge better than they were last season. See if they can continue that. MMR Hell has been around for a considerable period of time. They went 1-5 in placements in season 1 all the way back at the beginning of the year, and went a flat 6-6 last season. So again, both teams are off to a really good start so far in this season. They're punching above where they were last season, pardon me. And somebody's going to go home disappointed tonight. We're gonna have to find out who. Synth, how are we doing on the matchup? What's the map going to be here tonight?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The match tonight is going to take place on Infernal Shrines. It feels like we're just on Infernal Shrines. Like,
isn't that hilarious? So if you're like kind of new to the game, if you're started playing in the last couple months, or you took a break and you've only come back in the last couple of months, when Infernal Shrines came out, it was one of the most hideously, ridiculously, unbelievably unbalanced maps in the entire game. The draft could completely dominate a... it's Offslaught. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Darth Malastler. My bad. That'll be the last time I say that.
Oh, they just made it to screw you over. That's clearly...
they did, and they did it. So kudos. Clearly, I've not had enough to drink yet tonight. But Infernal Shrines used to be a hideously imbalanced map that snowballed completely out of control in the first couple of minutes of play, and it was everything that you hear people complaining about the current maps. So, if you haven't been playing the game for a while, if you weren't there when these maps were introduced, Infernal Shrines is now considered one of the golden standard maps in terms of gameplay balance.
Yeah, is that crazy?
That bodes well for our future maps. That bodes well for Braxis and for Warhead Junction. So yeah, we'll see. I think we saw a ton of Braxis holdout the first week it showed up, and then everybody sort of wisened up to it, and it was we haven't seen any other picks on those Terran maps or those StarCraft maps since they first came out.
All right, so the lobby looks like it's getting ready to go here, and we're gonna get the observer links out and very shortly here, we're going to get ourselves a draft for Infernal Shrines yet again. Although for these teams, possibly not quite yet again. So let's talk a little bit about with Nova banned, is there going to be any difference in terms of this drafting?
I don't think so. I don't think Nova is much of a factor on this map. It's a fairly large map, and the loss of someone soaking, having that low Nova constantly roaming, having one less competent wave-clearing hero isn't that big of a deal. I think Nova, you're going to see her much more often on...
Braxis holdout.
Braxis. She's actually got a place on Towers of Doom, I feel. I feel like you can use her on maps where channeling an objective is critical. Her ability to consistently interrupt those channels is actually quite valuable. But I think she's inadvisable on three lane maps and maps where the objective is
wave clear,
passive or wave clear, or
earned. You don't collect something. You have to earn it.
Because she brings nothing to those objective fights. So I don't suspect to see her.
Yeah, like Blackheart's Bay. I'm trying to think of the other. Yeah, well, anyway.
Haunted Mines back when it was a thing.
Actually, technically, BOE still doesn't. She's pretty bad at it.
Yeah, but she's there's the you got to earn the objective.
Yeah.
So Offslaught and MMR Hell, we've begun the draft here. Don't be surprised with that murky first ban.
That is Zarya.
Zarya has not been implemented in Top Drafter just yet, so we've agreed upon Murky as the stand-in for Zarya. So Zarya is the first ban from Offslaught, and Malfurion is the follow-up from MMR Hell.
What is this, Hero League?
Yeah.
This looks like a Hero League.
This looks like one of my Hero League games, yeah. So, these two heroes, probably the most potent heroes in their positions right now. Zarya is probably like the best bruiser-style tank at the moment. Her damage output is absurd. Malfurion, probably number one healer at the moment. Kerrigan picked up almost immediately by Offslaught. Kerrigan, this is her map. This is the quintessential Kerrigan map.
This is the map that brought her fame, brought her back into the meta. She was being played before her buffs on this map by the Pro League.
And we see Li Ming and Muradin brought in for MMR Hell. Solid, top tier in their respective areas. Li Ming, you can make an argument that Chromie does better, long range damage, and they're a better openers or better finishers. But at the end of the day, nobody has an ability like Li Ming's resets. Nobody can quickly put damage out the way Li Ming can, and that makes her really potent in all levels of play.
Well, waterfall. She snowballs so quickly during those team fights. But let's talk about Muradin real quick. His built-in AA reduction is perfect for getting reducing the amount of impact Kerrigan has on your team. So Kerrigan, I don't know if I necessarily would worry about that too much though, because she's going to be, during the objective phases, she's going to be killing minions. Or killing the objective. I don't think she's going to be on team fight duty.
Not likely. I expect her to be more... I expect her abilities to be at the forefront. We might see her not take bladed momentum at 7, but I still think the majority of her damage coming from abilities means that she can disregard the Muradin for the most part. ETC is picked up by Offslaught.
I like this.
So do you go... Here's the question. Do you go Mosh Pit against a consistent pair of interrupts like Li Ming's Wave of Force and Muradin Stormbolt?
No. No. Mosh is great. Mosh is like excellent and easy to use in situations where you have a lot of surprises, where you know where the other team is, or you have a lot of sight of the other team. None of which is abound on this map, unless they take somebody with sight, with like Medivh or Tassadar or or Lunara. Like Mosh is really not very good when you have such guaranteed clears. You have to target those people that can clear your Mosh, and early on.
The healer hasn't been picked yet for MMR Hell. There's still potential for Cleanse to come out. Rhaegar was picked up by Offslaught, so they have gotten those roles sort of out of the way. They have a healer, they have a tank, they have damage.
Well, they're building for a very melee / dive heavy comp.
This is a gank and spank composition from Offslaught. They're looking to find somebody, isolate them with an ETC slide, slow them with Rhaegar, and get the clean up with Kerrigan.
Yeah, so they're gonna ban out a disengager. It's like Brightwing, maybe.
I don't know if Brightwing can handle that kind of damage outright. They banned Sylvanas instead, so that does leave MMR Hell, with the lion's share of supports, whoever they feel can best protect them in this situation. Sylvanas is taken away, and I think that's a pretty decent call. Sylvanas can be very dangerous on these objectives if she's able to push with them.
Harazim coming back. Okay.
Man. So we haven't seen Charisma in a while. Double support with Tassadar. Okay. This is exactly what MMR Hell needs to help counteract this composition. I love it.
I love this. So basically, they have an opportunity to go either. Is that your phone?
That might have been. Let me mute this. Let's see. Just to be sure. Can't.
Yeah.
Be sure.
They have an opportunity to go either a melee or a ranged at the last slot there, unless they have something hidden. But yeah, I was gonna say Offslaught is looking for 4 melee and 1 ranged. They're gonna look for a mage. They might go TKT here. They might go Chromie here, but they need some sort of ranged at this point.
Thrall's got a reasonable amount of poke.
No, they can't go another melee.
They need one. I think I agree that they need somebody who's a committed. Vala would be wonderful.
Vala, that's right. Yes, Vala would be excellent. It works well with the ETC. Rockstar works well with
her auto attack
with Rhaegar.
Yeah.
Everything supports Kerrigan's dives. I mean, her ability. But I was gonna say KT would be the other choice, and KT is not out of the meta. I mean,
this 2 support comp from MMR Hell has got me spooked, and it's a Butcher. Who's, so I was thinking like Illidan didn't make a ton of sense to me, and Tracer was kind of sketchy, but like everything about their composition hinted that like they were going in. Karazim diving in, Muradin able to dive in, and Tassadar with the shields, and we see the response. The Butcher picked up by MMR Hell. So what do you think, Synth? I feel like there's enough tools from Offslaught to help deal with the Butcher, but the fact that their composition is so melee heavy means that they are going to have to get up in his face if they want to do damage, and that is right where you don't want to be against a Butcher.
Yes. However, Butcher self-heals through branding one person. If that person is able to turn away, and then the rest of the team... Offslaught is all melee except for Kael'thas. And if Butcher dives in without the support of Muradin, it's going to be very difficult for for Butcher to survive it. The 3 other members turn on Butcher, and Butcher disappears. They don't have an emergency button through, they have Karazim's palm if he takes it. Tassadar can give him a pretty decent shield to go in and on the dive, but you would be looking at Kael'thas CCing him, Kerrigan and Thrall consequently, eliminating him, etc., or Rhaegar. He's probably going to dive Rhaegar, or Kerrigan.
Yeah, in an ideal world, you'd be diving Rhaegar, but that's not always going to be the case.
Or KT. But yeah, the point being, Butcher's dive may be too much of a commitment, and it may be a dangerous commitment as well. This also enables ETC to take Mosh, actually. With this comp, there's not really...
Well, if Li Ming opts to go Wave of Force, which I feel like she should, against an ETC composition, Muradin has, Muradin has a Stormbolt, Karazim or Tassadar can opt to go with the Cleanse. Tassadar less likely, Karazim far more likely. And, if Karazim gets a Cleanse off on Muradin, that's, the ultimate is wasted, essentially. But,
it's only one. It's only Li Ming. Really reliably. Let me put it that way.
Reliably,
yeah.
Yes.
It's only Li Ming as the reliable clear for Mosh. So Mosh is actually danger in this particular matchup. So we shall get our match going here. And as always, we'll introduce after the loading screen finishes.
And if you haven't had a chance to try this out yet, do go to the Chair League website and find this match on the Chair League website. I'll post the link in a second here. You can follow these teams, get updates on these teams, and commend individual players for great plays during the game, kind of like your own MVP system for you, the viewers. So I'll be posting that in a second here in the chat, and feel free to check it out on that link or watch us on Twitch, whatever you'd prefer. Just know that there's a couple of neat features on the Chair League website.
Absolutely, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch, and all these videos do go on YouTube as well, and follow me on the YouTubes, on the YouTubes.
Alrighty.
But as always,
here we go again, my friend. On the left-hand side here, in the blue trunks, playing for Team Offslaught. Thank you. We've got Ghost Dunk on the Rhaegar. We got Dancing Cow on the ETC with the oh-so-appropriate name. We got Draw on the Thrall. We got Fonzie 786 on Kael'thas, and we got Veilside on Kerrigan. On the right-hand side, in the red trunks, playing for Team MMR Hell, we've got Blue Nichols on Karazim. We got Z Mexican on Muradin. We got B Mills on Li Ming. We've got Brooklyn, hang on one second, Brooklyn Bum on the Tassadar, and we got Red Conscript on the Butcher.
A lot of colors here.
Oh, yeah.
So, the little bit of surprise in the middle here, the team with the 5-stack actually being conservative, and the team with the 4-stack poking out to sea, and immediate pause.
That might be why. I wonder if they're having connection issues. Ghost Dunk on Offslaught, asking for the pause there, and it looks like they're having some issues.
Okay. So, that's smart. Don't go out if you're missing a person. Let's take a look at these level 1 talents here.
Yeah, who's picked so far? So Siphoning Impact from the Kerrigan. This is like the build that you take on this map. You'll see Q talents at 1 and 4, and then you'll see a more traditional sort of either battle momentum or shield-based build from 7 onwards.
No Ultralisk?
No Ultralisk. If we see Ultralisk in this game, you will not want to see me when we cut back to cameras. But yeah, that's pretty standard. We're seeing Insight from the Karazim, which is I like that one. I actually like Insight a lot because it gives him the chance to go cleanse at 7 and still have good solid AoE heals, and he's going to have lots of opportunities to get those 3 attacks in to build that quest out quickly. Invigoration from the Butcher, that's an interesting one. He's going to have lots of Qs on hand when he's in those fights in the area. Block Party taken from ETC though, which is going to mitigate Butcher considerably as this game goes on.
Block Party, one of those new abilities from ETC, very effective in any of these heavy AA-based builds. I mean, you have Karazim, you have Muradin, you have Butcher, of course, putting out that AA, and Block Party nullifies it for everyone on the team. I mean, that's just so much damage blocked by ETC. It's one of those abilities that makes not only you tanky, but your entire team tanky.
Mm-hmm.
And very good build coming out of ETC. I really like that.
And that's really going to help Kerrigan when she commits to those dives. Mm-hmm. Brooklyn Bum taking a little heat from the top here from Draw, backing up a little bit, but otherwise the mid and bot lanes are just dancing and making rotations. The Mexican hopping out after taking a little bit of punishment from the Offslaught there. And our first shrine is opening up top lane. And both teams starting to rotate up. Looks like Offslaught is going to be the first ones there. They stop in mid to get a little more soak and then continue to head up. Neither team at level 4 yet, and it looks like neither team will be at level 4 for a little bit of time yet. Not much really so far to write home about.
They're setting up a little bit of a...
So sneaky. Oh, but they go right into it. Fonzie gets a big damage on the Mexican. They catch Nichols, but Blue Nichols does manage to hop out. Red Conscript kind of stuck in the midst of the entirety of Offslaught. Does manage to wiggle out there. And no kills, despite the huge gank potential there.
That gank was
Offslaught.
That gank was not successful because they hit Muradin first. That's basically it. Had they hit anyone else first, that would have been a successful gank. They all went towards the Mexican. He tanked it all, and that was not a successful gank. But the dive going in for Thrall here, and Thrall's going really low.
Draw manages to scoot out, and a huge hit from Vale's side. Actually stuns like 4 members of MMR Hell, securing that escape for him. And neither team has started up the objective yet. They're both kind of dancing around. Level 4 has been reached by both of them here. And, let's just take a quick peek here. Triumvirate build from Li Ming. Long-range W's as far as the eye can see. Looking to get huge damage from long range here and let the Butcher take it all in the front.
Yeah, that's really smart. I mean, you don't want to be anywhere near the front, especially with Butcher drawing so much of the attention.
And in ETC, oh yeah, definitely. I really like this build so far from B-Mails.
Such a melee-heavy comp, you really want to be ranged against that.
So far, Offslaught with that Kerrigan able to clean up the majority. Muradin gets dived though, and that is it. Muradin is gone. And it looks like MMR Hell is going to have to concede this. They begin falling back a little bit here and start going to their lanes for the extra soak they can contain.
Yeah, that's a smart choice. This first objective, first John Cena, first Punisher, I couldn't think of the name there, and I was trying to come up with as many alternate names as I could before I came up with the actual name. He's not really going to do much. They're only leaving 2 members up, or 3 here. Oh, never mind. Li Ming's gone up. But it should only take down the wall at the very most, I think.
So Brooklyn Bum does manage to bait the Punisher over the wall, and just look at how quickly it is burned down by the fort and the towers. A typical Punisher phase this early in the game might get the front wall, and that's what we're looking at here. Just the front wall, the 2 towers and the gate, and Offslaught goes home happy. All being said, though, the experience levels are fairly even. Butcher was able to soak a substantial amount in the bot lane here. And, it looks pretty close, all things considered.
Yeah, this is actually coming out to be a very even early game. Even though there's 1 kill to 0, and that's not really even though, it's more like seeing that there's 1 kill to 0. The levels are extremely even. They're hitting 7 first, but honestly, the gameplay, the rotations, and everything so far has just been crisp out of both teams.
Draw is in an interesting situation here. Draw could potentially get picked off a little far forward. It's just to dodge the Storm Bolt, but the follow-up is huge, and Thrall is brought down in the bot lane. Pushed up just a little bit too far with no vision of the enemy team in the mid lane there. Really spooky stuff when you're dealing with a Butcher on the enemy team. Absolutely.
That Butcher can come out of nowhere and just give you a very bad time. And without the support of ETC's block party, you don't have the damage mitigation you need to survive Butcher's dive. So, yep, they're doing a very crisp 4-man rotation, bottom and top, or bottom and mid rather, and Tastar's holding his own at the very top lane. It's a lonely spot at the top. So they're starting to do, Offslaught is starting to do some a camp, and that was a great timing coming out of them, starting that camp right before the 15-second mark on the shrines. But so too with MMR Hell at the bottom.
Yeah, no, depending on who goes to deal with this Shaman camp at top, Offslaught is going to have a very nice window to potentially put some pressure on the shrine. It could be Tassadar staying in top, which would probably be the most ideal individual for MMR Hell to clean this up. And here they go. The pressure is on in the mid. Burden taking a load of damage. Mexican is hurt, and it goes down. That is exactly what you want to do when you're Offslaught. You want to identify the individual that is cleaning up the Merc camp and press the advantage while they're occupied. And Offslaught executed that perfectly.
Yeah, I was going to say they noted, I was very impressed because Rhaegar had a slow rotation up since he was dealing with the Merc camp at the bottom. And they had to be very careful during that engagement to not draw a 5v4. And they did a really good job of noticing that that wasn't the case. So yeah, that very aggressive face check into the...
Interesting. No cleanse picked up at level 7. I'm taking a quick peek before we get to level 10 here. No cleanse picked up at level 7 by MMR Hell. We do see Rhaegar take cleanse at 7 for Offslaught. So very confident of their team to not get hit by any sort of root stun or mosh pit. I feel like this is gonna come back to bite them soon.
I'm gonna agree with you. We have Kael'thas's E. We have.
And you've got the Punisher jumping on people. There's so much potential for a stun chain on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. You have Kerrigan's W as well. I mean, just there's a lot of stuns, and you don't want to be caught in any of those stuns. Oh, and Thrall. Let's not forget.
I feel like you're missing something in your arsenal, and it is Mosh Pit that is picked up by ETC, along with pretty much the usual suspects of the ultimates for Offslaught. We see Divine Palm, Avatar, Wave of Force was picked up by Li Ming, so she does have that additional interrupt in addition to the other, in addition to the Storm Bolt. We do also see Lambda the Slaughter. That is theoretically another interrupt that could work against ETC, but you know, I feel like that's a win for ETC if you bait out Lambda the Slaughter.
Yeah, Lambda the Slaughter doesn't really work because it doesn't interrupt the actual mosh, right?
It doesn't?
No.
It silences.
Does it?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you have to drop it close enough to him without being in the actual mosh.
Like, it's got a pretty lengthy distance.
So does Mosh. Anyway,
I mean, like, it's got like 4 or 5. It's got well over auto attack, like ranged auto attack distance. You can definitely hit a ETC with a Lambda the Slaughter.
Okay. I mean, yeah, but you have to be careful not to hit be actually in the mosh pit. You have to be outside of it, and as
that's
Butcher,
gonna be hard to do if you're the Butcher. You're correct.
Yeah. So anyway, point is,
even the interrupts that they do have are really, really like not what you want to have on hand. They're not going to be consistent. They're not going to be reliable, and it's sort of a hole in MMR Hell's strategy here against this ETC.
But we shall see. I mean, if the situation ever presents itself, Kerzim's double heal is actually very helpful for sustaining.
And he's about to finish that Insight quest. It's going to be done in just a few more auto attacks. Both teams sort of on the edges looking to position themselves for a gank, and it is Offslaught that decides to go in first, getting the first 10 minions very quickly there, very easily, as MMR Hell starts making their move in.
Yeah. I don't think I agree with that Bush strategy there. MMR Hell has a weaker wave clear than Offslaught, and
Butcher has gone in, has found Veilslide, and Veilslide goes down. A Sundering comes out from draw, but it's a little bit late there as the kill was confirmed. Mexican goes in a little bit heavy and may actually get pinched by draw from the bottom there, and that is a kill confirmed.
So but now it's a 4-on-4.
It's a 4-on-4, you're correct. But the members of MMR Hell are, severely lacking in HP. And in goes the Butcher. Ancestral Healing goes off on Dancing Cow. Mosh, for that, is still active. Mosh is still available. And Offslaught just deciding to collect the Punisher and walk that home. That battle went back and forth in both directions, but with the Divine Palm there, nice palm saving Tassadar. The Brooklyn Bum getting caught by the Punisher. Like we said, that lack of cleanse is going to be a problem, and now Palm is on cooldown.
Well, one of the other things I noticed during that fight was Butcher did waste Lambs to the Slaughter. It was actually completely nullified. It wasn't, nothing got hit by it. But Tassadar is brought down by this by the Arcane Punisher, honestly. That was a lot of damage coming out of those Arcane lines. And
the Arcane Noodles.
Arcane Noodles.
That's it. Let it be written.
Okay. Arcane Sketty.
So the bot fort is gone. The keep wall is down, and Offslaught is starting to open up the lead right now as they pick up a couple of the merc camps. It looks like, and they have their eyes set on this damaged middle fort here.
Yeah, they're gonna do a conservative push here. They're gonna try to take the weaknesses and not overcommit. I think that's a smart move. They're gonna take the merc camps. They're gonna take what they can get and then sort of find the weak spots and poke those weak spots.
Hey, you find who's rotated to deal with these camps. You can see Tassadar in the top lane right now, potentially by himself. You can see the majority of MR in the mid lane right now, trying to deal with your siege camp. I mean, does Offslaught go after the Tassadar now? I feel
yes,
like
they do. Absolutely. They have all four members.
But he's slippery, and Brooklyn Bum is able to back up and does manage to get out in time. MMR Hell, though, looking to potentially punish this aggression. They're jockeying for position here. Red Conscript is waiting patiently for the ult, but he gets pinged. He's found out and has to back up. Both teams just kind of... They're looking for the next edge that they can get before the next phase, which will be coming up relatively soon, probably another minute or so. And,
they're playing very well. I do have to say, like, they're not making moves that are unnecessary.
We got 30 seconds to the next shrine phase here. Offslaught going en masse to the top lane here. I'd like to see them stick around and try and soak 16 before they go too hard into this fight.
Well, I think they're going to get 16s during the fight, and I think that should be more than enough.
They don't have it yet. Butcher isolates Kerrigan, finds her with the Lamb, does get in there, but a huge blow up on the Butcher. That is all she wrote. Butcher is gone. Sundering touches Blue Nichols, but he is able to get out, and it's a general retreat for MMR Hell. They are getting picked off left and right. That's 3-0. Offslaught cleaning things up here in the top lane.
Yeah, what did I say about that Butcher dive? What did I say about that Butcher dive?
You got stunned, and then he disappeared.
Butcher dives in. The person who gets branded turns around, tries to run away, and the rest of the team turns on Butcher.
The dive there was just a little bit aggressive. It was just a little bit too much. The fight hadn't really coalesced yet. The panic hadn't really started to set in, the discord. And, if you're the first one in, if you're the first one in their lines as the Butcher, you're not likely going to get out.
Yeah.
It's more likely than not they're just going to circle around you. They're going to kill you, and then by the time your tank actually gets into the fray, it's all over. So yeah, I mean, ults were popped left and right. The Maelstrom from Kerrigan was pretty well timed to help deal with that Butcher.
Yeah, actually, the Maelstrom probably saved her life, because that instant pop of shields as well definitely gave her that extra few moments to survive against the Butcher's insane amount of auto attack damage.
And let's not forget about Dancing Cow. I mean, how many block charges were used up there, keeping that Butcher away. So top keep is under siege. Tons of damage going out on Tassadar. Holy cow! Down to like a fifth of his hit points. And the Punisher continues to grind forward here, and this keep is in danger of going down, Sin.
Yeah, this might be a keep here, especially if they get a pick right here, which they're going. Oh, nice palm. Nice palm on Muradin there, but the dive comes in and isolates Kerrigan. A great force wall there.
Force wall, yeah, and Land of the Slaughter paying off this time. Does catch the Kerrigan and keep her rooted. So
absolutely,
the keep goes down, but for MMR Hell does pick up a consolation kill and might get a second one here. And nope, the slowing totem from Rhaegar does delay the inevitable, but
a three-person gravity lapse actually catches a lot of those members and keeps Keel'thas safe. Otherwise, Keel'thas...
they're still pushing though. This is looking dangerous. MMR Hell is out for blood. It's 40 seconds until Rhaegar comes back, and the Butcher is going again. He's got Keel'thas in his sights, and Keel'thas goes down.
All right, this is how you win with the Butcher.
This is how you spin a game. Yeah.
Yeah, this is how you take the Butcher and you make him work. He excels on the dive. He excels on the chase. That's where you use him. But unfortunately, during those team fights, he's not an engager. He is not the first person in. He should not be the first person in, especially against this comp. So that was a great turnaround there, especially on the same talent tiers. They are slowly pulling their lead back, or reducing the lead there. And Draw cannot take this Merc camp, even though he spotted it out.
Yeah, no, I like this. You're denying your opponent the mercenary camps later in the game here. So those are going to be off for a couple of minutes here. 4 minutes, they're not going to have access to this Merc camp. And if the next push goes in MMR Hell's favor, if they get their Shaman camp at the appropriate time, there's a lot of pressure potentially in the top lane. This helps also alleviate the catapults, which are coming from that top lane.
So,
this timing is fantastic for MMR Hell.
Yeah.
The Shaman camp is capped. It's ready to go. They've got positioning against Offslaught, so they can't get back in time to deal with the top camp. But Zemexian goes in, and a nice Sunder helps interrupt the team. Land of the Slaughter cuts down Muradin, and so does Kerrigan there. And that was a huge pickup for MMR Hell. The Butcher's meat stacks have kicked in, and I think it's starting to show as the kills are rolling in for MMR Hell.
And the resets, too. The Leeming resets are really, really helping just chunk down the enemy team. It's like they're made of paper. I mean, you're seeing that now, and that's the problem with Block Party. It gets rid of your AA, it gets rid of your auto attacks, but it does not do anything for that Leeming damage. Leeming is still a very powerful force to reckon with.
And I mean, look at this. We've got MMR Hell pushing through the mid lane, pushing up as far as they can go while they have Muradin clean up the Shrine Guardians. I like this. They're going to have maximum push potential with this Punisher. That keep in the bot lane is so close to being dead, but Brooklyn Bum's going to clean that up and keep it safe here.
Yep. So looks like they're going to grab this objective, no problem. Leeming though has to back out a little bit because they're starting to clean up there.
Yeah, all members of Offslaught have come back up now in time for this Punisher phase, and Tassadar's going to have to hustle up to the front, or it'll still end up being a 4v5 in Offslaught's favor.
Yeah, so Offslaught is smart, pulls back. You don't want to be up front for this push.
Cleanse is available for Rhaegar, so he does have a way out if things get too dicey for Dancing Cow. The damage starts pouring in here, and this Punisher is getting worked over. The arcane noodles are spinning around, and they're doing tons of damage to Dancing Cow, but he's okay. He don't need no further help. And this Punisher is going to be brought down before this keep is too threatened.
Yeah, but that dive, though, that dive's
a bit much, but thankfully, it is turned around quickly there.
Yeah, and then the Ancestral was probably good, was worth it. I mean, that Ancestral got... But oh my gosh!
Kerrigan caught by the Lamb again, has to pop all of her cooldowns to survive, and still may not do so. And Ghost Dunk is next on the menu, and the Butcher, I ordered this one medium rare, and this cow is going down soon.
Wow. That is, this might be game ending right here.
This is game ending. This game is over.
Yeah,
you got all 5 members of MMR Hell up against Offslaught. What a turnaround. The early game going completely against them. MMR Hell able to pull it out in the late game with those Butcher stacks and those late game abilities, those late game engagements, just completely turning this game on its head. Great win for MMR Hell.
Yeah, that was well played coming out of everyone there. Wow. Great turnaround. Great progression of just everything. Out of words here.
So we got to talk about this.
Let's talk about this.
Did you see a mosh pit?
I did not see a mosh pit.
I didn't see one ever.
Yeah, where is this dancing cow? I was promised a dancing cow.
This false advertising. We're gonna file a claim. You're gonna be hearing from our lawyers. But I'm surprised. I feel like we did not see mosh pit once. Maybe I missed it on the edges. Maybe I didn't see it in a team fight.
You would have heard. You would have heard the spine tingling.
Oh yeah, no, I hear it in my sleep.
Phoenix was used, Maelstrom was used. I wonder if Mosh Pit was being saved for like a little too much. I don't know.
That's something that you have to get sort of out of your mind as you develop as a player, is that your ultimate isn't always going to be a 5-man ultimate that's going to be perfect and is going to kill the whole enemy team.
Yeah.
If you use your ultimate and you kill one person, and like that puts them out of like a critical objective or a critical like team fight, then that was an incredibly useful ult. And I feel like that was what ETC was looking for. They were looking for that 5-man mosh that Kael'thas could get all of his combos on, Kerrigan could get all of her combos on. And I feel like if you get 1 or 2 kills in a mosh pit, as long as you confirm those kills, it's absolutely worth it to put somebody out at the right time. And I feel like that's what we saw, like, oh, I'm going to get a 5-man mosh, and that just never happened.
Yeah. The one thing I want to mention for this particular setup is Kerrigan was it's not Kerrigan. Kerrigan was always the target. Not always.
Kerrigan was frequently the target for Red Conscript. Frequently. Kerrigan got caught in a lot of those lambs and was left without combo. She was not able to blow abilities to help herself out there. And that initial kill, usually it was on Kerrigan or it was on Rhaegar. That initial kill just gave MMR Hell a huge advantage in terms of just damage output. That's a substantial amount of damage from Offslaught that was missing with those Kerrigan engages.
And it reset Li Ming's cooldowns. I mean, the fact that ETC wasn't there to disengage the, if he was there with a W whenever Butcher came in on Kerrigan, this would have been entirely different stories. If he dropped a mosh behind Butcher, if Butcher was unable to secure the kill on Kerrigan, because Butcher by himself, with Kerrigan's Maelstrom being popped and everything like that, may not have been able to kill Kerrigan by himself.
I don't know about that.
I
think Butcher comes close to 1v1ing everybody in the game.
Well, with the rest of the team on him, if ETC can take some of the other members out of the fight with a mosh pit or just power sliding and stunning people, you allow your team a space in order to operate freely. and that's what they were missing. They didn't get the moshes, they didn't get the power slides or the what's this W called? The knockback.
The face melt.
Yes, face melt. They're just a few of those would have been extremely helpful in those team fights, but without them, you just saw Kerrigan get blown up at least twice, and that started the snowball effect that I was speaking of earlier with Li Ming. I mean, Li Ming just snowballs so rapidly with the with 10, 15, 20 second cooldowns just resetting. Those are not intended to be cast twice every 15 seconds. They're intended to be cast once every 15 seconds, and when they go twice, they become so much more powerful. So yeah, with that, a win goes to MMR Hell, a come from behind win, might I add.
Yeah, kudos to them. They are now 3-1 this season. Offslaught falling to 3-3. They're still at 500. They still can go above 500 with a win next week. I'm certain they can bounce back from this. Their early game showed great promise. They worked them over very well in the early game there. It was just those late game engagements and keeping those individuals alive. Once the Butcher started hitting that late game spike, I feel like once the meat stacks kicked in, the game swung completely against Offslaught.
Yeah, our chat did say that there was one mosh.
There was one.
I must have missed it.
There was one mosh in a 21-minute game.
But
like sometimes you just need one mosh.
Yeah.
But tonight was not one of those nights.
No. So the dancing cow did deliver, I suppose.
I guess so. I have my lawyers on speed dial, man. Okay. And that loud phone that was making noises throughout the game.
All right. So yeah, with that, we'll call this game to a close, and we're gonna have another one shortly.
In 15 minutes.
Yeah. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back shortly.